Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. Try to cross morning and news together. Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us this morning. If you're watching this live on Facebook, thank you for that. If you're watching this later or listening to it at www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We appreciate that as well. We upload audio and video versions to our website. You can check them out later. If you don't want to watch it on Facebook, we do update the audio a little bit so it's a little crisper, a little cleaner. If you want to check that out, please be our guest. Looking at some interesting traffic. It's getting heavier today than it has been the past 3 days. Not entirely sure why. Couldn't tell if there was an accident or not, but it is starting at Millerville and I-12 heading westbound. It's not really intermittent. It's long stretches with little gaps in between all the way up to Jubin Road. It's causing some delays to occur on 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190 in Denham Springs. As well as there are some minor delays on 64 heading into Central with heavy delays on Greenville Springs if you take a left right there. Of course, your normal delays in and around the larger high schools as folks drop their kids off for school. It's currently 31 degrees, so it is below freezing, technically. 58 degrees is your high, looking at a 34 degree overnight low. Still going to be chilly. Still recommend you protect those pipes, pets, and plants. Going into tomorrow, Friday, going to be looking at a warming trend over the weekend. Now, warming is relative, probably get up into the 60s during the day, and only the 40s or 50s at night. So please be expecting of that. Parish Council is tonight. Not a whole lot on the agenda, pretty light. We talked about the moratorium on development on Dunn Road yesterday, so if you want to go back to that website, web address I mentioned, www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. You can listen to that, see what Mr. Scooter Keene is proposing for Dunn Road to try to hold development to get that widening project expedited, I guess you can say, as well as the roundabout before they begin development. There's a couple other things on the agenda, including an update from the Master Plan Committee, talking about a priority road list. We've discussed that before as well. A couple of things that they're really looking at hard are Cook Road Extension, which is funded, planned, studied. Everything's ready. It's just a matter of when it's going to start. And then, of course, there is the Jubin Road North. Looking at that, trying to get funding for it. So I have a feeling that sorry about that. That the chairman of the Master Plan Committee will be looking to push that tonight, Mr. Gerald Burns, trying to get, it had come up at the past at Parish Council. That would be the Jubin Road Extension or Jubin Road North. It has been studied, but land acquisition has to occur, and there has to be funding in the budget to actually make it happen. Again, the parish has not built a local road in over 100 years, so if that would come to fruition at some point in the next few years, it would be the first local road constructed by local government in over 100 years. So they'll be looking for that. There's also a long and extended list. We're going to be posting a preview today for the Parish Council meeting tonight. You can look at that one. There's about 12 or 13 roads that were compiled by the Master Plan Committee itself, as well as discussing it with local officials, including mayors, the parish president, and the head of DPW. So please be on the lookout for that. A few other things on the agenda. They are going to be discussing waterways tonight. It's kind of the off season, but our rivers are still in use for a lot of different things. So the Waterway Commission will be giving their yearly update. The report from that last year is what gave them sort of the go-ahead, I guess you can say, to propose and pass an ordinance, whenever the waterways are closed due to a natural disaster, you can be fined or arrested and pulled off the river if the waterways are closed, usually during natural disasters or periods of high water, that sort of thing. It used to be not much could be done except a little bit of finger wagging, but they passed that ordinance this past year in 2019 to be able to police those waterways if people are on them while they are closed. So again, the Parish Council will be tonight. You can always follow me on Twitter, or we post on Facebook. If you're curious about how to follow, there's just a little picture we post on Facebook. It says Parish Council's tonight, and we comment underneath it kind of with a little play-by-play, so you can keep your finger on the pulse of the council. Dennis and Cynthia Perkins had a little bit of an update yesterday as a parent of a child who was involved in a piece of one of their charges has filed suit against the school board as well as Dennis and Cynthia Perkins themselves. According to the lawsuit, the child is one who ingested one of the pastries and one of the energy drinks that was suggested by count number 15 within their slew of 150 counts against them, which is worth about 6,000 years. But remember, this is just an indictment. It is I guess you can say, the initial charges that are being pressed against Dennis and Cynthia Perkins. Dennis will have his initial motion hearing today at 1 p.m. But again, this parent has proposed to sue on the fact that the child is traumatized, mentally affected, and also concerned about sexually transmitted diseases. So we'll see where that goes going forward. We do know that there's a potential policy being put in place where no outside food will be allowed. It would have to be purchased from somewhere and delivered. So keep an eye out for that. There was also another update on the Dennis and Cynthia Perkins situation, wherein it looks like a third adult. So Dennis and Cynthia Perkins would be two adults. There's a third adult involved on the victim side in terms of rape and voyeurism. So we're keeping an eye on that. No names as of yet. Of course, according to the Attorney General, they are working to protect the names of the innocent and the victims at this time. They may come up in court. We'll have to wait and see. Freshwater Elementary was named the most improved school in Louisiana over the past 5 years. They kept records of it. It was one of 5 schools total in the state that increased by double digits. They, of course, went up almost 14% from an 83 to a 97. So congratulations to Freshwater Elementary. They tried to foster an atmosphere of caring and helping students and that sort of thing. Principal was surprised, but was happy that they got that recognition, because she said they'd been working hard on trying to just improve the culture of the school. So congratulations to the teachers, faculty, and students of Freshwater Elementary. Yesterday was the National Early Signing Period. We had a couple of folks sign here in Livingston Parish that we covered. Southeastern picked up 16 kids, on their initial early signing roster. This was for football. For LSU, I believe it was about 21 or 22. Still have some gaps to fill when National Signing Day comes up. But congratulations to both of those schools, and congratulations to the local kids who went ahead and signed early. You can check out their stories at www.livingstonparishnews.com/sports. The Kiwanis Christmas events that are an annual thing in Denham Springs have wrapped up for the year. This past weekend, the Christmas parade occurred on Saturday, as well as the lighting of the Christmas tree there in downtown at the train depot. So we're now moving into kind of the final slide right into the Christmas season before we get on track with the new year, and then everything goes back to normal, I guess you can say. With these midweek holidays, there tend to be some interesting weeks, especially if you're in business, coming up next week with Christmas and the week after with New Year's. As a reminder, because of that, and because there's probably not going to be a whole lot going on, we will either have 1 or 2 morning shows next week. If it's just 1, it'll be both Mondays. If it is 2, it'll be Monday and Friday. So keep a lookout for us. We're going to be bringing you any kind of news that comes up over those 2 weeks. But as you probably very well know, usually pretty dead for us here on the news cycle. Coming up next week, we'll have a regular paper, and then on January 2nd, we will have the top 10 news stories, sports stories, and lifestyle stories for the 2019 calendar year. We will also probably be rolling out a top 10 for the decade, so that'll be fun. That one's going to be a little harder, but we're gonna try to get that out for you guys. One last time with your traffic, it's now pretty much stacked up, so I'm going to guess there's an accident at Millerville, backing up this traffic past Pete's Highway, getting near Jubin Road. It's causing some delays and pushing people onto the surface road. So there are delays at 4-H Club Road, 190, and River Road. There's also delays on 64 heading into Central. Heavy delays if you take a left there on Greenville Springs. However, traffic in and around the high schools is dissipating as those folks drop their kids off at school. It's currently 31 degrees, 58 degrees is your high, 34 your overnight low. Still going to be cold. Protect those pipes, those pets, and those plants. Try to find a covered space for them. Bring them inside if you have to. If you don't have any place outside that's covered, keep them protected from the elements. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. Of course, remember, we do post these, www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print. We have an app that goes with our website as well. Hope you can stay warm today. It is going to be another chilly one. And, of course, it'll be chilly overnight. We will catch you tomorrow morning right here in the booth for a little bit of Parish Council wrap-up as we move into the pre-Christmas weekend. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning.